Yo, what's up, everyone? My name is Andrew Warren, and as always, you already know I got you guys with a daily update on the stock market. And as you can see with the general trend with my portfolio today, we had pretty much a consistent downturn until about 4 o'clock when the after hours started, when it started nearing the after hours. So as you can see, about 3:45 right before the normal market day closed, it started spiking up a lot, and then it just consistently stayed about the same level throughout the aftermarket hours. But that was just with my portfolio with all of these four stocks averaged out. And then of course these four free stocks right here as well, but they don't really have much impact on this portfolio display right here. But as you can see, the VOO usually mirrors the index, so it's pretty accurate compared to like the general stock market trend. So as you can see, it did pretty much the same thing today as my portfolio did. So that shows you my portfolio is pretty on track with just the general stock market. But I do own a lot of growth stocks and stuff, and as you can see, that definitely helped out today compared to the normal VOO downward percentage, because as you can see, I'm only down like 0.86% compared to if I invested everything in VOO, which would be down completely 1.40. So I do invest in a few growth stocks, so it definitely helps me out there compared to just VOO as the normal average or the index mirroring ETF. So that's why I'm glad that I own a little bit of this, and then also a little bit of some growth stocks as well. So it definitely does help out. But as you can see, about 1.5% negative today, which is a little bit significant, but compared to like the 10% drops recently that we've been getting, it's really nothing that phases me at all, honestly. Like, to be fully truthful with y'all, I would love to see another 10% drop day, because I just want to get Microsoft on sale right now, and I feel like it's just too expensive. It is too like bubbled up right now, I guess you would say. And although in the long term, I think this is still an amazing price, $153 is an excellent price long term. But I do believe that the market's going to go down within the next few months or so. So that is why I'm currently waiting. I think that now is really not the best time to start buying things in the stock market, because I think it's going to go down more within the next few months or so, and that we just have to give it a little bit more time. And as I always say in all of the videos on my channel, this is not intended to be financial advice. It is simply me sharing my opinions and my thoughts about the stock market, the moves I'm making, and etc. But in my personal opinion, I feel like this is sort of a bull trap. And just to explain something, if you don't know what the bull in bull trap means, basically when someone calls the stock market a bull market, the term bull is intended to reference like the back of a bull. So when you think of the back of a bull, it's like going upwards like this. So it's a green market. It's a very positive market that keeps increasing like you see right here. However, if you have a bear market, let's do it with the 1 year so you can see it a little bit more. So a bear market is when the stock charts are going downwards. So it's like the back of a bear, it's aiming downwards. So as you can see, you could call this little thing right here a bear market, and we have officially already been announced as being in a bear market. So that's kind of the reference. So basically a bull is this right here when it's going up positively from the left to the right side, it's going up more and more, sort of that angle right there. And then a bear market is basically the opposite of that. It's going downward from left to right in that direction. So if you don't know what that is, now it's explained. A bull trap is basically what you would call like a tease, similar to what the market did last week, where every day was about positive and a lot of people were surprised. So that would sort of trick people into thinking that this is a bull market once again and that we're finally recovering. However, like I said, all of this is personal opinion, but I personally think that that is a bull trap and that we still have much farther to fall in the stock market currently, at least in my opinion. I say this in every single video, so I don't want to repeat myself too much, but just given all of the surrounding negative news that we have seen over the past few days, and the fact that the Rona situation is not even close to becoming solved. I graduated college last semester with a bachelor in public health, and that was basically everything that I focused on for like 4 years, was simply talking about past outbreaks. And I'm not going to say any names because you know how YouTube is, but we've had many outbreaks in the past, and it takes so much effort to finally reduce that curve that they're talking about and sort of like stopping that upwards curve. And honestly, out of all of these classes that I've taken studying similar things to what we're experiencing right now, this has to be probably like the worst that I've seen personally in my lifetime, and definitely one of the worst events that I've seen, even compared to ones that I've simply studied about and never seen personally. So I do think this is something serious, and I think it's going to take such a long time for us to finally recover from this, just because of how you have to quarantine everyone. One thing they always said in many of my public health classes is that people really don't appreciate public health because when you do put forth positive efforts, you never really see what you actually prevented. So it's sort of an unappreciated health field because you truly don't really see what you're preventing with the actions that you're taking to protect society. And I think that's one of the big problems with people out there right now that still don't take this thing serious. They just think that it's the typical seasonal illness or sickness, and that is a big problem in my opinion. And it's going to be very difficult for the world to work together to stop this just because of those people that are reluctant to believing simple facts. At least in my opinion with the whole situation, it is much better to be safe than sorry, and it is much better to overcompensate for this situation than to undercompensate. Now, I'm not talking about that economically, I'm talking about it in terms of how we're going to deal with it and safety precautions. But that is just a perspective from someone with public health. I feel like I especially have like an opinion on that because we have studied stuff like this for the past 4 years in college, and it's crazy to see how applicable it is right out of me graduating. But I really do appreciate my perspective on that because there are just people that are clueless out there, and I guarantee if they took the same classes that I did and studied it like I did, that they would understand that this is serious and it's not just your typical everyday thing. But anyways, I just wanted to go on a side note there. At least that's something I could bring up that I haven't really discussed every day. That's sort of a new thing that I've discussed for the first time here. But I think that's important to consider with the stock market over the next few months because it is going to be very hard to get this situation solved, even in the next 6 months, in my opinion. I think this is honestly going to extend farther out than 6 months. It may not be as bad in 6 months, but I think it's going to be extremely difficult to straight up just eradicate this thing or get it to a very minimum. And honestly, I don't really think it can ever really be eradicated, especially if we don't come up with a cure, because it can just always come back in an unfortunate moment. I hope that doesn't happen, but I can definitely see it being possible, even if we got the situation completely under control. If you look at China right now, and obviously there's the argument over whether China was honest about their initial numbers anyways, and I'm not going to go into that, but if you look at it, according to their statistics, they locked everything down and got cases down to almost like a bare minimum. And now finally they're having more cases again just because it's becoming transported between all of these continents and countries, and it's very hard to get under control even if you're a whole nation, your whole country gets everything under control. All it takes is some other country that doesn't take the proper precautions to bring it straight back over to your country, and then it's all back over again, and you have to do everything over and lock everything down once again. But all of that reasoning right there is why I personally feel like this is just going to be a downturn, at least for a significant amount of time, at least a few months in my opinion. What we're seeing right now almost seems like a hoax to me because it doesn't seem realistic. I feel like people just haven't let it set in yet that this is what is going to happen. And obviously, I'm not going to claim that I could predict the market because you never know. The market could go the opposite direction of what you think, just like Tesla does almost every day for me and what the market did last week. So I can't really predict it, but that is my personal opinion and what I think is going to happen. And I'm not a pessimist or anything. I definitely don't want to believe these bad things, but I do have to be realistic, and I'm positive when there's reason to be positive, and I'm negative when there's also reason to be negative as well. But anyways, that's why I'm personally not going to be buying any stocks right now, at least until Microsoft hits under that 140 mark. And when it does that, I may start buying a little bit of that, and hopefully I'll have a little bit more money built up by then. But Microsoft is my plan for my next stocks to buy when everything goes on sale. It's just been my number one thing to go to right now. And if you want to hear more about Microsoft, I have a video on that on my channel right now. It's, in my opinion, the best stock to purchase during a recession or a crash. And I have a whole video discussing that whole stock right there. But I definitely recommend checking that out if you are interested. And also, before I end the video, if you do want to support future videos like these, I'd really appreciate you dropping a like, smashing that like button. It's super motivating, and it also helps me get recommended to newer people. And we've been growing this channel like crazy lately. So I appreciate all the love, all the subscribers. And before I head out, I just want to say, if you want to begin investing, I'll leave my referral links to Robinhood and Webull down in the description below. And if you want to sign up with my referral links, we'll both get a free stock. That's pretty nice. Actually, yesterday, I got a free stock of Caesars Entertainment, and then I opened another one today. Somebody else used my referral link, which I really do appreciate that if you're watching out there. And I got another one of these. So I have 2 shares of this currently. And if you look at the past 5 years, just recently on February 21st, this was up to $14. So I'm definitely going to hold this one for a while since it was free, and hopefully it'll get back up to that similar mark of $15. You never know, but I think the right play on this one would just be to hold, since it's like based off of Las Vegas and casino stuff. So where all of that's shut down right now, I feel like the right play would be to hold when everything gets solved and it all opens back up, and then we may get that $15 price range once again. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Happy Friday, and I hope you have a fantastic weekend.